We're going to take a look at two of the tabs on your quote screen. We're going to look at the Tax tab and the Notes tab. The Tax tab would be where all of the tax that you set up in the sales tax section would be listed, and where you can select what tax needs to be chosen on a particular job. Now, of course, when you set up your sales tax, you would set up a default or multiple default taxes, and those taxes would be checked when you went into this tax window. When you set up your customers, you can set certain taxes for each customer. So if we pick a particular customer that has that set up, it would automatically switch in this window. However, if we're doing a ticket and we have a particular area that we cover where there might be a lot of different taxes in different towns that we work in, and we need to always change the taxes, we can do so here. Now, if you'll notice here, if I uncheck the Michigan tax, it goes to 0, and then when we click on the Ohio state tax, it goes to the 2306. Now I can check multiple taxes here. I could check both Michigan and Ohio. Also, there's a use tax. Now, if you're going to use use tax, that is something completely different. That is not charged to the customer, that's charged back to the company. And so you would not want to have both a sales tax and a use tax selected. So if you are using use tax, you'd want to uncheck any state taxes and then check your use tax. Now down in the bottom right, you can see there's a use tax box where it shows the use tax amount and the invoice cost, and right now that's 0. And the reason that is because use tax is calculated on the cost of the items, and you can see all three of our items have a 0 cost. So if we were to go into the cost there and type in a cost, now you'll see that the use tax is $4.80 off of the invoice cost of $80. If an invoice needs to be tax exempt, you will just go down to the tax exempt window, click on the drop down, and pick the appropriate tax exempt type. You can add to this tax exempt list or remove items from this tax exempt list in the configuration manager. And typically you'd want to go ahead and leave your sales tax up at the top checked and then pick a tax exempt reason. And now we can see our taxes have gone to 0. And then the use default taxes, if we click on that, sets everything back to the default if you have checked a different sales tax. So if we set everything back the way we had it before, but we have it on Ohio, and then we click on use default tax, it switches back to Michigan. So if you have a lot of different taxes and you've checked some different taxes off and you don't have things correct and you want to just kind of start back the way you began, you can click on the use default taxes. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Notes tab, and it is exactly what you would think. It's where notes can be put on the ticket. The top box, anything typed into that box will print on any ticket that you print out, whether it be a quote, a work order, or an invoice. The middle box, the internal notes, are only viewed on this screen. Those will not print anywhere. And then the bottom box, the work to be performed, those are for your technician so that you can put in information for him or her as to what needs to be done on the particular job. Those notes will show up when printing a work order, but will not be printed out when printing an invoice. And then the bottom two boxes there are for if a job is either voided or credited. Whenever you void a ticket or do a credit invoice, you have to pick a code and you have to type in a reason as to why it was either voided or credited. So if you recall this ticket after doing a void or a credit, those would be filled in with that code and the reason.